Hi children, good morning all. Children, in my last session I discussed about the fertilization, implantation, all I discussed. Okay, today I am going to discuss the next stage of development, that is maintenance of pregnancy and embryonic development. Before that, we have to discuss about the twins. Okay, in the box it is given, you children, you know very well what are twins. Okay, twins, yes, right. In a single pregnancy, two fetus have developed at a stretch. Okay, that is called twins. So there are two types of twins. Twins are two offspring produced in the same pregnancy. You know very well. Here there are three types of twins. One is monozygotic, dizygotic, siamese. What is mean by monozygotic? You know very well, children. See, when the fertilization taken place, what one egg fused with one sperm fused with one egg. Okay, it forms zygote. What is the next stage? The zygote undergo mitotic cell division. The zygote undergo mitotic cell division. That means a single cell zygote divide into two, and the two cells again unite to form two cell stage. Again the two cells divide into two cells. Again these two cells together form four cell stage. Like that the four cell stage divide into 8 cell stage. How 8 cell stage? One 4 cell, another 4 cell, it divide. Then both the four cells unite together form 8 cell stage. Like that it is going on. Like that it is going on. So this is called what? Normal cases. Sometimes when the cell division going on, it divide and unite, you know, no? When it divide, it will not further unite. Then it form what? Two embryos. Two embryos. So say for example, if it is 8 cell stage, what happen? How it develop? Two 4 cells are formed first separately. Again these four cells unite to form 8 cell stage, right? So instead of that fusing, it stops separately. It stops separately. 4 cells separately, another 4 cells separately in the in the fallopian tube tract. So what is the next? This 4 cell further undergo cell division. Another 4 cell undergo further division. So these one 4 cell develop into one fetus, another 4 cell develop into another fetus. Okay. So these two fetus share single characters of single gametes, single ovum and single sperm. So both are identical. Both are identical. They will not show any difference in its external appearance, and both are same sex. So the twins which are developed from a single ovum are called what? Monozygotic. If the twins are developed, sometimes very rarely, in the, you know very well, in each cycle only one egg is released from the fallopian, Graafian follicles. Sometimes, very rarely, two eggs are released from the ovary in a cycle. So when at that time, if a fertilization is taken place, there is a chance to penetration of one more sperm to the another egg. So two egg, two sperm. So each two zygote is formed. The two zygote develop into two young ones. That is called what? Dizygotic. The twins are developed from the two egg. That is called what? Dizygotic. Then siamese means what? Are conjoined twins who are joined during the birth. So the twins are not separate from each other. They are joined with each other. That is called what? Siamese children. That's about monozygotic and dizygotic and siamese. Okay, next we are going to see about maintenance of pregnancy. In my last session I said that fertilization taken place and embryo formed and it is rolled and reach the endometrium of the uterus. In the endometrium it gets implanted and blastocysts are formed. Blastocysts are surrounded by tophoblast. This attached with the uterine wall. The wall of the tophoblast attached with the tonoplast attached with the uterine wall, and inside that there is a group of cells called innermost cells. This innermost cells only develop into what? Young ones. Okay, that's what the thing. Till implantation, I discussed with you. Now I am going to discuss with you about the maintenance of pregnancy and embryonic development. Okay, after the attachment, how the maintenance of pregnancy taken place and what are the stages the embryonic development shown. Okay, so the inner cell mass in the blastula are differentiated into epiplast and hypoplast immediately after implantation. The hypoplast is the membrane embryonic endoderm and epiplast is the embryonic ectoderm. Okay, so once the innermost cells in the blastula sorry children, inside the blastocyst, the inner mass of the inner cell mass is differentiated into two structure. One is epiplast, another one is hypoplast. See, what is epiplast? The epiplast which is developed into ectoderm and hypoplast which is developed into embryonic endoderm. So the cells remaining in between the epiplast and the endoderm form the mesoderm. Okay, there are some cells in between the ectoderm and endoderm. That cells are forming the another one layer called mesoderm. So there is a formation of three layered structure, that is ectoderm, endoderm and mesoderm. Thus the transformation of the blastocyst into a gastrula with a primary germ layers by the movement of the blastomere is called what? Gastrulation. 2 markers in bracketed. Okay, so the transformation of blastocyst, when the embryo get attached in the uterine endometrium, it is in the form of what? Blastocyst, and these cells are transformed into a three primary germ layers like ectoderm, endoderm and mesoderm, and this stage is called the gastrula stage, and the process is known as what? Gastrulation. Each germ layer gives rise to a specific tissues, organs and organ systems during organogenesis. Okay, each germ layer gives rise to a specific tissue, that you know very well, already I discussed with you. See, the three layers, ectoderm, endoderm, mesoderm, which are differentiated into the organs of our various organs and tissues of our body. And next one is the extra embryonic membrane, namely amnion, yolk sac, allantois and chorion, protect the embryo from desiccation, mechanical shock and help in the absorption of nutrient and exchange of gases. The amnion is a double layered translucent membrane filled with the amniotic fluid. It provides a buoyant environment to protect the developing embryo from injury, regulate the temperature of the fetus and provides a medium in which the fetus can move. Okay children, so next, extra embryonic membrane. What is called extra embryonic membrane? That is, the embryo is surrounded by some membrane externally. Those are called extra embryonic membrane. What are the extra embryonic membrane? We can see amnion, yolk sac, allantois and chorion, or the extra embryonic membrane we can see in human. Okay, what is their function? It protects the embryo from desiccation, mechanical shock and help in the absorption of nutrient and exchange of gases. These are the functions of extra embryonic membrane. Let's see one by one. That is, first we see the amnion. What is amnion? It is a double layered translucent membrane. It is filled with the fluid called amniotic fluid. That's all. See, amnion, it is a double layer translucent membrane, that is, it is transparent and it is filled with a fluid called amniotic fluid. Another thing, what is its function? It will provide the buoyant environment to protect the developing embryo from injury. Okay, and regulate the temperature of the fetus and provide a new medium in which the fetus can move. Okay, so in this amniotic fluid, the fetus are floating. Okay, that's what it provide a buoyant environment and protect embryo from injury, another one function, and regulate the temperature of the fetus and provide medium in which the fetus can move. Okay, next, yolk. What is yolk sac? Form a part of the gut and is the source of the earliest blood cells and blood vessels. Okay, so it develop into the yolk sac, form a gut. Gut means what? It is a digestive tract and form a source, earliest source of it acts as a blood cells and blood vessels. Okay, that is the simple function. It acts as it form a part of gut and act as a source of blood and blood vessels. Next one is what? Third one, allantois. What is the third layer? Allantois. Allantois form a small outpacketing of embryonic tissue. It is a small outpacketing of embryonic tissue. You can see the children. See amnion, that blue color structure, yellow colored layer. This amnion, it is double walled membrane. Inside the amnion, the blue color structure is called amniotic fluid. In the amniotic fluid, the fetus or float. Okay, and then next one is allantois. It is a small out packets. Next to the amnion, the structure is called what? Allantois. That's what it is called. What? Out packets of embryonic tissue at the caudal end of the yolk sac. Where it is present? At the caudal end of yolk sac. It is present. It is the structural base for the umbilical cord that links the embryo to the placenta, and ultimately it becomes a part of the urinary bladder. Okay, what it will do? It form the functions of allantois is what? It is combined with umbilical cord. It is the structural base for the umbilical cord. That is, from the allantois, the umbilical cord is developed. That's what it is. They say it as what? Structural base for the umbilical cord that links the embryo to the placenta, and ultimately it become part of, afterwards it become the part of urinary bladder. Next, chorion. Chorion we can see around the amnion. Chorion is seen. Then chorion is the outermost membrane which enclose the embryo and all other membranes, and also help in the formation of placenta. It also help in the formation of this one, what allantois help to the formation of umbilical cord. Here this chorion, outermost layer, which help to form formation of what? Placenta. Then the trophoblast cell, the trophoblast cells in the blastocyst send out several finger-like projection called, you can see children, see the red color layer is the trophoblast. This trophoblast which give us several outline structures. These structures are help to attach the embryo in the uterine wall. புரியுதாமா? இப்போது வெளியில் இந்த ரெட் கலரில் ஒரு ஸ்ட்ரக்சர், ஒரு லைன் இருக்குது, அவுட் பேக்கெட் மாதிரி இருக்குல்லம்மா, அதிலிருந்து சின்ன சின்ன பிரான்ச்சஸ்லாம் வந்திருக்கு, அதுதான் ப்ரொஜெக்ஷன். அதுக்கு வெளியில் வந்துட்டு ஒரு டார்க் கலர் ரெட் கலர் ஸ்ட்ரக்சர் இருக்குது. அதுக்கும் வெளியில் இருக்கக்கூடிய ஸ்ட்ரக்சர் வந்து தான் யூட்ரின் வால். ஒரு பேல் பிங்க்கில் இருக்கிறது உங்களுக்கு வந்துட்டு யூட்ரின் வால். இந்த யூட்ரின் வால் கூட இந்த ப்ரொஜெக்ஷன்ஸ் ட்ரோப்போபிளாஸ்ட்லேருந்து வெளியில் வரக்கூடிய இந்த ப்ரொஜெக்ஷன் வந்துட்டு யூட்ரின் வாலில் வந்துட்டு ஒட்டிக்கிறதுக்கு ஹெல்ப் பண்ணும். எது ஒட்டிக்க ஹெல்ப் பண்ணும் அப்படின்னு பார்த்தீங்கன்னா, இந்த ஃபீட்டஸ், டெவலப்பிங் ஃபீட்டஸ் வந்துட்டு ஒட்டிக்க ஹெல்ப் பண்ணும். ஓகே, அதுதான் அடுத்த ஸ்டேஜ். ஓகே, so if we are in a direct class, we can using the board and explaining very neatly, children. So the trophoblast cells in the blastocyst send out several finger-like projection. These finger-like projections are called chorionic villi, carrying fetal blood and are surrounded by sinus that contain maternal blood. Then chorionic villi and the uterine tissue form the disc-shaped placenta. See, chorionic villi and the uterine tissue. Chorionic villi attached with the uterine tissue and form a disc-shaped placenta. Placenta, what is placenta? Next one is, placenta is a temporary endocrine gland. This you should keep in your mind. Placenta is a temporary endocrine gland. Discuss it, you will have as a question. Placenta is a temporary endocrine gland, endocrine organ formed during the pregnancy alone, and it connect the fetus to the uterine wall. So placenta is the structure which connect the fetus to the uterine wall through the umbilical cord. It is the organ by which the nutritive, respiratory and excretory functions are fulfilled. The embryo's heart developed, please note down the children, when the embryo's heart developed during the 4th week of pregnancy itself and circulate blood through the umbilical cord and placenta as well as through its own tissue. So during the 4th week of gestation itself, the heart is developed and circulate the blood through the heart circulate the blood through the umbilical cord and the placenta, as well as of its own tissue in the sense what, fetus tissues. So it circulate the blood to the umbilical cord and placenta and to its own tissue. Then the primary germ layers serve as the primary germ layers. What are the primary germ layers? Ectoderm, endoderm and mesoderms are called primary germ layers, which serve as a primitive tissue from which all body organs develop. The ectoderm gives rise to the central nervous system. See children, note it, name the structure which are developed from the ectoderm, brain and spinal cord, peripheral nervous system, epidermis and its derivatives, and mammary glands are the ectodermal origin. Bracket it. What are the ectodermal derivation from the germ layers? Central nervous system, that is brain and spinal cord. Peripheral nervous system, that is nerve which are arising from the peripheral brain and spinal cord are called peripheral nervous system. And then next one is epidermis of the skin and mammary gland, or the derivatives of what? Ectoderm. And next connective tissue, cartilage and bone, muscles, organs of urinogenital system such as kidney, ureter and gonads arise from the mesoderm. And then endodermal derivatives are epithelium of gastrointestinal and respiratory tract. Okay, so children, these are the organs developed from the ectoderm, endoderm and mesoderm origin. Okay, so then epithelium of gastrointestinal, respiratory tract, liver, pancreas, thyroid, parathyroid or what? Endodermal origin. Next, human pregnancy. It lasts for how many days? Gestation period also we can say 280 days as per week. It is 40 weeks and is called what? Gestation period. What is the pregnancy last in human? 280 days, and as of the week it is 40 weeks, and this is called what? Gestation period. Okay, gestation period is nothing but the period of fetus which stay in the uterus is called what? Gestation. And the next one is, it can be divided for convenience into the 3 trimester of 3 months each. Okay, this gestation period can be divided into our convenience as 3 trimesters, for each trimester 3 months. Okay, the first trimester, what happened in the first trimester is the main period of organogenesis. The body organs, namely heart, lymph, lung, liver and external genital organ are well developed. External organs are well developed in this period. By the end of second trimester, the face is well formed with features, eyelids and eyelashes, eyes blink, body is covered with fine hair, muscle tissue develop and bones become harder. Okay, these are the changes taken place in the second trimester. What are the changes taken? What are the developments taken place in the third trimester? The fetus is fully developed and is ready for delivery by the end of 9 months, that is third trimester. Next one is during pregnancy, the placenta. Hope you could understand about the gestation period. Okay, you will have as a question, what is gestation period? How could divide into your convenient and discuss the changes which has taken place in each trimester. We'll have a 5 mark question sometimes. So be clear, and you will have a 1 mark question. For a NEET, you will have questions from this part. Okay, during pregnancy, the placenta act as a temporary endocrine gland. This is why you will have as a question. During pregnancy, placenta act as a temporary endocrine gland. Discuss the statement or justify your answer. You will have book back question also. Why? Because during pregnancy, the placenta act as a temporary endocrine gland. It is a placenta is not a permanent endocrine gland. Why? Because placenta is formed during only pregnancy only. So during pregnancy only it secretes hormone. So it is a temporary or partial endocrine gland or transient endocrine gland we can speak. Okay. So during pregnancy alone the placenta is formed, and that time alone the placenta secrete a hormone. So what are the hormones secreted by the placenta during pregnancy? Or human chorionic gonadotrophin, human chorionic somatomammotrophine or human placental lactogen. estrogen, progesterone, which are essential for a normal pregnancy. So, these hormones are essential for normal pregnancy. So, these hormones are secreted by placenta during the pregnancy. And a hormone called relaxin is also secreted during the later phase of pregnancy, which helps in the relaxation of the pelvic ligament at the time of parturition. Okay, next one is relaxin. Actually, relaxin is secreted by placenta during the late pregnancy for what? To relax the pelvic bone, to relax the pelvic ligaments at the time of parturition. It should be noted that HCl and HPL and relaxin are produced only during pregnancy. List the hormone which are produced only pregnancy. 3 hormones. Okay, one is human chorionic gonadotrophin, another one is human placental lactogen or human somatomamotrophin hormone. These and relaxin. These are the 3 hormones which are secreted by placenta only pregnancy. Okay. Next one is in addition to this progesterone, estrogen also secreted. That is another thing. Then another hormones. Our normal hormones also increased its level. Why? What are the hormones increased in its normal levels than its normal level secretion? Why they are secreted such like that, we will see in the next. In addition, during pregnancy, the level of other hormones like estrogen and progesterone, cortisol, prolactin, thyroxine, etc. is increased several folds in the maternal blood. These hormones are essential for supporting fetal growth. Why they are increased than its normal level? To support the fetal growth. Okay. A female uterus is normally about 3 inches long and 2 inches wide only, but can expand 20 times during pregnancy. Note it down, children. Next one is, okay, so for in the last topic, we have seen about the maintenance of pregnancy and embryonic development all we have seen, isn't it? How to maintain the pregnancy, the embryo attached with the uterine endometrium and covered with extra embryonic membrane, and the formation of placenta, umbilical cord, chorionic villi fuse with the uterine wall and attach the placenta developing fetus into the uterus. This is what main under the change hormones are secreted. These hormones are essential for maintenance of what? Developing fetus. And what are the hormones secreted? And what are the 3 changes taken place in the 3 trimester? All we completed. Now next stage. Okay, fetus completely developed. Next it is ejected out from the uterus. That is called what? Parturition. Next to the parturition, what? Lactation is taken place. So what is parturition? What is lactation? What are the hormones involved in this process? All we will see now. Parturition is the completion of pregnancy and giving birth to the baby. This is what parturition, 2 Marcocin, the series of events that expels the infant from the uterus is collectively called labor. Throughout the pregnancy, the uterus undergoes periodic episodes of weak and strong contraction. So, throughout the pregnancy, uterus undergo periodic episodes of weak and strong contraction. Then this contraction is called what? Labor pain. This contraction called what? Braxton-Hicks contraction lead to the false labor. See, throughout the pregnancy, the uterus undergo periodic episodes of then and there. It shows a weak and strong contraction. These contraction are called Braxton-Hicks contraction and leads to the false labor. That is pain, false pain will be there. This is 2 Marcocin. What is called Braxton-Hicks contraction. And as the pregnancy progresses, increase in the estrogen concentration promotes uterine contraction. So, as the pregnancy progresses, increase in the estrogen contraction, increase in the estrogen concentration. In concentration of estrogen will be increased and promote this cause the uterine contraction. This uterine contraction facilitate molding of fetus and downward movement of the fetus. See, as the pregnancy progresses, the level of estrogen hormone will be increased, or the concentration of estrogen will be increased. So what is the next thing? The uterine contraction promotes the fetus to the downward movement of the fetus, that is it should downwards towards the vagina or cervical cavity. The descent of the fetus causes dilation of the cervix of the uterus and vaginal canal, resulting in a neurohumoral reflex called fetal ejection reflex or Ferguson reflex. Okay, so now since the estrogen concentration increased, the contraction of the uterus promotes the fetus to move downwards. Once the fetus came down, automatically the canal of the cervix dilated and leads to vaginal opening also dilated, and this is called what? Neurohumoral reflex or fetal ejection reflex or Ferguson reflex. This is also another 2-mark question. This initiates the secretion of oxytocin from the neurohypophysis, which in turn brings about the powerful contraction of the uterine muscle and leads to the expulsion of the baby through the birth canal. This sequence of events is called parturition or childbirth. What happened? So vaginal opening also dilated. These changes initiate the another one hormone called oxytocin. This hormone secreted by the neurohypophysis of the posterior neurohypophysis of the pituitary gland. What is the function of oxytocin? It increases the contraction relaxation of the uterus. This increased contraction relaxation of the uterus expelled out the fetus from the uterus. So this what happened. This sequence of events is called parturition or childbirth. What are the sequential events taken place in the childbirth? See, throughout the there is a series of contraction and a series of reactions or events taken place in the uterus to expel out the fetus from the uterus is called labor, we can speak. So but before that, throughout the pregnancy, the uterus shows some periodic weak and strong contraction, and this weak and strong contraction is called Braxton-Hicks contraction. It leads to false labor only. So as the pregnancy progresses, what happened? The level of estrogen increased. The level of estrogen increased to promote the uterine contraction. It leads to what? The movement of fetus towards the down, and this is said to be what? This leads to a dilation of cervical canal and leads to the dilation of vaginal canal, and this reflection is called neurohumoral reflection and fetal ejection reflex or Ferguson reflex. Next to the vaginal distillation, what happened? Another one hormone released. The name of the hormone oxytocin, who released that neurohypophysis of pituitary, which in turn bring out the powerful contraction of uterus. This powerful contraction relaxation of uterus expels out the fetus from the uterus. This sequence of the events is called parturition or childbirth. Okay. Hope you could understand this, children. Next, relaxin is a hormone secreted by the placenta and also found in the corpus luteum also. It to promote the parturition by relaxing the pelvic joint and by dilation of the cervix with a continued powerful contraction. Okay, what is the function? See, oxytocin, it promote the powerful contraction relaxation of uterus at the time of childbirth. Relaxin, the function of relaxin, this is a hormone released by the placenta. Powerful relaxation of pelvic joints and leads to dilation of cervix and continued powerful contraction. The amnion, what happened? Amnion rupture. Amnion is an extra embryonic membrane, it rupture. So when the amnion gets ruptured, the amniotic fluid flow out through the vagina followed by the fetus. The placenta along with the remains of the umbilical cord called afterbirth is expelled out after delivery. Okay, see these are the sequential events. Okay, relaxin released, pelvic muscle relaxed, cervix dilated, and the amnion get ruptured, and the amniotic fluid released through the vagina, followed by the fetus. First fetus come out, followed by the amniotic fluids come out, and then next what, the extra embryonic membrane along with the placenta is come out after the birth. That's all over. Next, lactation is the production of milk by mammary glands. The mammary glands show changes during every menstrual cycle, during pregnancy and lactation. So see the changes in the mammary glands taken place during the every menstrual cycle, pregnancy and lactation. So what is the after parturition, what happened? Increased level of estrogen, progesterone and human placental lactogen. Towards the end of pregnancy, stimulate the hypothalamus towards the prolactin releasing hormone or releasing factor. The anterior pituitary responds by secreting prolactin, which plays a major role in the lactogenesis. Okay, so during pregnancy and lactation, the level of hormone estrogen, progesterone, HPL are increased, and towards the end of pregnancy, hypothalamus prolactin releasing factor are released from the hypothalamus. This releasing factor stimulate the anterior pituitary to secrete a hormone prolactin. Prolactin plays a very important role in lactogenesis. Next, oxytocin causes the let down reflex. The actual ejection of milk from the alveoli of the mammary gland is called what? Let down reflex to Marcozine. See, already we have speak about oxytocin. Oxytocin released by posterior neurohypophysis of pituitary, and it helps in the contraction and relaxation of uterus during the parturition, and also play an important role in the mammary gland also. This oxytocin causes the actual ejection of milk from the alveoli of mammary gland. This ejection of milk from the alveoli of mammary gland is called let down reflex. This let down reflex is caused by the oxytocin. So oxytocin involved in both lactation as well as parturition. During lactation, oxytocin also stimulate the recently emptied uterus to contract, helping it to return to pre-pregnancy size. So during lactation, oxytocin also stimulate the recently emptied uterus. What is mean by recently emptied uterus? So far the uterus is filled with the fetus. Now it is came out, so it is emptied. So now the uterus is in bigger size. This size will be reduced by the hormone called oxytocin. About colostrum, you can see in this children, go through it. The mammary glands secrete a yellowish fluid called colostrum during the initial few days after parturition. It has less lactose than milk and almost no fat, but it contains more protein, vitamin A and minerals. Colostrum is also rich in immunoglobulin A antibodies. This helps to protect the infant's digestive tract against bacterial infection. Breast milk is the ideal food for infants as it contains all constituents in suitable concentration and is easily digestible. I hope these all don't want to explain. You could understand by your own children. That's what I am going as it is. It is fully sufficient till about 6 months of age, and all infants must be breastfed by the mother to ensure the growth of a healthy baby. So it is what it is trying to say is what mother feed is very, very essential for every infants. Okay, so that's what they are saying, children. Okay, I completed this lesson today. Children, please cooperate with me. We have to go little more fast. Only 6 lessons we have completed. Totally 22 lessons in both botany and zoology are there. So I plan to go little bit fast. Cooperate with me. Follow with me. If there is any doubt, please text me in person. I clarify your doubt. Okay, children. Okay. For homework, lactation, parturition. Today's part, you please read it and keep it with you. Okay. So send a homework to me, and you people are not at all responding to send the homework. Please send the homework then and there, children. And next test portion, the second lesson book back alone. Okay. Okay, children, we'll meet in our next class. Bye.